Look on your face. I'm going to do that. More good. It's all over the internet.
I was wondering what's going on. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Alfredo Rodriguez. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Mr. Goodrich.
And Luke Goodrich from the Public Defender's Office, here to represent Mr. Rodriguez, who is standing to my right.
And sir, you are Alfredo Rodriguez, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. This is the time set for a jury trial in the matter. Ms. Wilson, how are we proceeding today?
Thank you, Your Honor. The people have extended an offer in this matter, the offer being to plead to 1 count of domestic violence with no objection to 7694A status and a sentencing agreement to no upfront jail. I will leave it to the defense as how they want to proceed.
Mr. Goodrich.
Your Honor, Mr. Rodriguez is declining that offer at this time. We would be asking for dismissal in this matter, as witnesses were subpoenaed to appear at the courthouse today for a jury trial. Mr. Rodriguez is here and ready to proceed. It does not appear that the prosecutor would be ready to proceed. I certainly understand regarding the child. Certainly not objecting to that, but like I said, the other witness was subpoenaed to be in person.
Is that Sherry Rodriguez?
Yes, she is here over Zoom, but.
And it's my understanding that she did just have knee surgery, so I allowed her to appear by Zoom today.
All right. So if the witness is here via Zoom and has a prior medical condition, we will. I'm gonna adjourn this matter. So we'll adjourn the matter for jury trial. I see that the exhibits lists have been filed. It appears instructions have been filed. So we should be all set to go. This was the second case today, I believe.
I believe so.
Yes.
That's correct. So I believe it would be the priority case next
All right.
time.
All right. So we'll adjourn for jury trial and we'll get a date of
October 28th at 8 a.m.
All right. So all witnesses are to be live in person on October 8th at 8 a.m. And we will proceed. It'll be the #1 jury trial for that date. Anything else for the record in docket 2401-480, Ms. Wilson?
Your Honor, Ms. Rodriguez is indicating that she wishes to speak. I would request the court not to pursue that. It's my understanding that she does not wish for this case to proceed, but the people are proceeding with the case at this time.
All right, good. Ms. Rodriguez, any comments?
Did you say October 8th?
Yes.
Twenty.
I have a
October
doctor's
28th. October 28th.
Okay, because I have a doctor's appointment on October 8th, and there's no way I can miss this because it's for my knee surgery.
That's a good thing because
Hold
we're
on.
set for October 28th.
Okay, that's why I wanted to double check that, and
All right.
Yeah,
That'll
I'm not
be
gonna make any
live
other
in
comment.
person, Ms. Rodriguez. All right.
I'll see what I can do. Hopefully I can drive by then.
Right. Well, I'd at least let the prosecutor know if you're unable to drive. But this case is going back to May 19th, so it's getting a little old today. But we've set it for October 8th, 28th.
And we can certainly assist with getting an Uber if driving's an issue.
All right. Anything else for the record in 2401480? Ms. Wilson,
Not for the people.
Mr. Goodrich.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you. That's all for the record in that file. Thank you for your appearance today, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Who's covering Williams? Okay, perfect.
All right, so we're on the record in docket 2402173. That is People of the State of Michigan versus Tanika Williams. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Assistant Public Defender Jacob Riley on behalf of Ms. Williams.
And ma'am, you are Tanika Williams, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. This is time is set for a jury trial in the matter. Ms. Wilson, how are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. It was my understanding that Miss Josanna Wright, who is the complaining witness in this matter, is on Zoom. I'm not sure if the court can see if there is a person.
All right. Josanna Wright, would you please identify yourself on the Zoom?
Yeah,
All right. You are Josanna Wright, ma'am?
yes,
All right, thank you. This is the time set for, so the Josanna Wright is here via Zoom. Ms. Wilson, how are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. An offer hasn't been extended in this matter. It's my understanding that the defense wishes to proceed to trial.
All right. Is that a fair statement, Mr. Raleigh?
It is, Your Honor.
All right. So we'll set this for a jury trial. I don't have, let's see. I think I still need jury instructions on this matter from both sides.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. All right. And we'll set it, you want to set it for that same date? So what date is that?
October 28th.
October 28th at 8:00 will be set for jury trial. I think it'll be the second case up on that date.
Depending on what we do with Mr. Word.
Right.
Yes.
All right. So, and I'll have jury trials, as council knows, jury trials will be due to the court a week before.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything else for the record in 2402173, Ms. Wilson?
Not for the people.
Mr. Raleigh?
Your Honor, just in the interest of fairness, and my client raised this issue, I would ask that if she's going to be required to appear, that the complaining witness also be required to appear.
I understand this was a third or fourth setup today. We had several cases in front of it. So permission is granted. Of course, for the jury trial, the person would have to appear in person in order to testify against you. All right, ma'am? Anything else for the record in 2402173, Mr. Raleigh?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Ms. Wright, we've set it for October 28th at 8:00, and your appearance will be necessary in person. All right, ma'am?
okay, I'll be there.
All right, thank you. That's all for the record
Thank
in that
you.
file.
All right,
And Ms.
bye-bye.
Wright, you can go ahead and log off.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
And then Mr. Word is the one we're resetting, right?
Yes, Mr. Goodrich just went to see if he's here.
Okay.
So I think we can wait on that
All
one.
right.
I think that's it for the jury trials this morning. So if the court wants to move into the rest of our docket until we hear from Mr. Goodrich, I'm good with
Yeah,
that.
perfect.
Perfect.
Mr. Demps, do you have an attorney today? And you can unmute.
Unfortunately, I do not, Your Honor. I was trying to get my pay stubs in to get that overturned.
Denied what time, what date is that?
9/5.
Yeah, I have you denied from the Public Defender's Office as of September 5th. Do you plan on retaining your own lawyer at this time?
No, Your Honor. I unfortunately do not have the income for that.
So do you plan to get a lawyer in this case?
I do, but I was trying to get a public defender, but I unfortunately do not have.
Have you made have you made a reapplication since September 5th?
No, unfortunately, I haven't had the time.
Right. Well, this should probably be the #1 priority since you're looking at jail time. 93 days is 93 days in jail. So this should probably have the highest of priority right now. But we can go ahead and pull that on the record. All right. All right. So Mr. Demps, we'll call your case. So we're on the record in docket 24-02580. That's people, the state of Michigan versus Rameses Demps. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record from the people?
Your Honor, Jacob Scheib on behalf of the people, requesting permission under Court Rule 8.120 for a recent graduate to practice.
Okay, and that's granted. Mr. Demps, your appearance for the record.
Yes, sir. My name is Rameses Demps.
All right. This is the time set for pretrial in the matter. Mr. Demps, it's my understanding you are without counsel today, and your plan is a reapplication to the Public Defender's Office. Is that
Yes,
a fair
sir.
statement? All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Scheib, Mr. Demps plans on a remaking application. He was denied as September 5th. I will grant. I'll leave it up to you as to whether you want to object or not object to the adjournment. You'd be requesting an adjournment today. Is that correct, Mr. Demps?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I can set it for trial and wait, or we can just adjourn this to see if Mr. Demps is able to get counsel.
We're okay with adjourning.
All right. So I'm going to adjourn this matter, Mr. Demps, and we'll adjourn for a reapplication to the Public Defender's Office. And you know the number to the Public Defender's Office, or you have means of getting that number?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right. I'll adjourn for reapplication to the Public Defender's Office for, this was second pretrial.
October 7th at 9.
October 7th at 9 o'clock. Mr. Demps, October 7th at 9 o'clock is the date for the second pretrial in the matter. If you appear without counsel on that date, we're just going to set it for trial. Okay, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else for the record in 24-02580, Mr. Scheib?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Demps, do you have any questions of me?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You should be all set. Thank you for your appearance today.
Thank you.
On the iPhone, would you please identify yourself for the record?
Rogelio Garza.
Okay, Mr. Garza, the courtroom can hear you, so you may want to mute. You're here for your 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
All right. You're in the right place. Stand by. You may want to mute So the courtroom doesn't hear you.
Okay.
That's people of the state of Michigan versus Shantice Monique Gonzalez. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Mr. Scheib.
Jacob Scheib on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Mr. Lee.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Shantice Gonzalez.
And ma'am, you are Shantice Gonzalez, is that correct?
I'm Shantice. Yes.
Shantice, thank you. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Scheib, how are we proceeding?
The defense is asking for an adjournment.
All right, Mr. Lee.
That is correct, Your Honor. I have only just begun conversations with Ms. Gonzalez. In addition, we don't have any offers yet, so I think it makes sense to adjourn the matter for another pretrial to give us a chance to get into this to see if there's a potential resolution.
Any objection to the adjournment of Mr. Scheib?
No, Your Honor.
So we'll stipulate to adjourn the pretrial. We'll get a second date of
October 7th at 9.
October 7th at 9 a.m. So this pretrial has been adjourned to October 7th at 9 a.m. Anything else for the record in docket 24-02584, Mr. Scheib?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Lee.
No, thank you.
All right, Ms. Gonzalez, we'll see you at October 7th at 9 a.m. All right, ma'am?
Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll call Garza and Sherrill next, I believe. We'll go on Mr. Garza. So we're on the record in docket 24-02585. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Rogelio Garza. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Yeah,
Mr.
this is
Scheib.
Rogelio Garza.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Garza.
Jacob
Go ahead,
Scheib
Mr.
on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Mr. Lee.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Rogelio Garza.
And sir, you once again, you are Rogelio Garza, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. This is time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Scheib, how are we proceeding?
Requesting a date for a final pretrial, Your Honor.
Okay, is that a fair statement, Mr. Lee?
We don't need to necessarily move straight to a final pretrial, but if that's what the people want to do, I don't have any objection.
All right. So I will adjourn, we'll get a new date for, and we'll set for final pretrial and jury trial. The final pretrial date, of course, everybody will be subpoenaed here, so we'll know. So we'll set a final pretrial date on
October 7th at 8:30.
October 7th at 8:30. So we've set for final pretrial on October 7th at 8:30, and jury and the accompanying jury trial date is set for
October 28th at 8.
October 28th at 8 a.m. So we set for final pretrial on October 7th at 8:30. Anything else for the record in 24-02585, Mr. Scheib?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Mr. Lee.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Garza, we've set it for October 7th at 8:30 for final pretrial. That'll be live, and you'll get notice sent to your last known address on Shiawassee. Is that still a good address for you, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're all set. We'll see you on October 7th at 8:30.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. We want to go to Hoskins or Tyranda Sherrill? Hoskins.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, so we're on the record in, Mr. Lee, do you need the opportunity to speak with her?
We've spoken.
Okay. All right. All right, we're on the record in 23-01949 and 24-02591. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Tyranda Hoskins Sherrill. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Mr. Scheib.
Jacob Scheib on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Mr. Lee.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Tyranda Sherrill.
And ma'am, you are Tyranda Sherrill, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can hear me all right, Ms. Sherrill?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. This is the time set for a pretrial on both of these files. Mr. Scheib, how are we proceeding?
Requesting a final pretrial, Your Honor.
All right, and is that a fair statement, Mr. Lee?
Your Honor, I would suggest that perhaps we move to a final pretrial, that we set this for another pretrial. I have spoke with my client. However, I haven't really had any discussions yet with the prosecutor. Maybe we could resolve this prior to a final pretrial. So I would think another pretrial.
Really, it's just a matter, one is, let's see, 2301-949 appears to be an assault and battery, the allegation on a Betty Banks, and then the 2402-591 is a DV with a different individual, Brian Kingsley. Mr. Scheib, response to Mr. Lee's request for another pretrial as opposed to a final pretrial.
Yeah, we'd be okay with that.
All right. All right, so we'll adjourn for pretrial on both matters. We will set for
October 7th at 9:30.
October 7th at 9:30. That is on file 2301-949. That is the assault and battery. And then we'll set for 9:30 on October 7th. On file 2402-591, and that's the domestic violence with the victim of Brian Kingsley. Anything else for the record in 2401-949 or 2402-591, Mr. Scheib?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Lee?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Sherrill, we'll see you on October 7th at 9:30 for both of those files. All right, ma'am?
Yes, sir. And can I ask,
Right.
is that in person?
That'll be via Zoom is appropriate for that adjourned pretrial. So I think via Zoom is appropriate unless there's any objection to that, Mr. Scheib.
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Lee, I'm assuming a Zoom is all right? All right. All right, for that second pretrial for the October 7th date, ma'am, Zoom is appropriate.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a nice day.
You too. All right, so we're on the record in docket 2402-467. That is People of the State of Michigan versus Anthony Davis. So the parties please introduce themselves for the record. Mr. Scheib.
Jacob Scheib on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Mr. Lee.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Anthony Davis.
And sir, you are Anthony Davis, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Scheib, how are we proceeding?
We're going to go ahead and request an adjournment. Sounds like the defendant is working with prosecutor's office or the defense office to get his
Mr. Lee, is that a fair statement request for adjournment for compliance purposes?
Yes, it is. Your Honor.
And about how far out are we looking to adjourn this?
I would think if we adjourned it out probably 45 days, we would have a real solid answer as to where we stand.
All right, so 6 weeks in the
Yes, sir.
vicinity. Any objection to the 6-week adjournment, Mr. Scheib?
No, Your Honor.
To set it for October 28th at 9 o'clock. Anything else for the record in 2402-467, Mr. Scheib?
Nothing further. Your Honor.
Mr. Lee?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Davis, we'll see you on October 28th at 9 o'clock, right, sir? Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, wait 1 second. I'll have to go straight, okay?
So are we a little late on the, we don't know if Mr. Word's here.
We have not seen him. You ready? I'm a desk.
It's up, it's, Mr. Lee, do you have any, are you ready to go on anything or else Mr.
Afraid I'm not.
Mr. Goodrich
Yep.
is up? All right. All right, so we're on the record in docket 2401-215. That is people of the state of Michigan versus David Word. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Mr. Goodrich.
Attorney Luke Goodrich from the Public Defender's Office here to represent Mr. Word, who is not present today.
All right, this is the time set for a jury trial. It was set for 8 o'clock. And we'd already had some it's now 9:15. We've had some discussions that we were going to set this for evidentiary hearing, but we're waiting for the appearance of Mr. Word to come. Mr. Word has not joined us today. Ms. Wilson, how are we proceeding today?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd be requesting an immediate bench warrant. This is an assaultive offense. Mr. Word does have other matters pending. It's my understanding that he has not been in contact with the defense, and there's been some lacking communication with pretrial services and circuit court at one point. So I think an immediate bench warrant here is appropriate.
Mr. Goodrich.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I have tried reaching out to Mr. Word a couple of times and did not hear back from him. However, that has normal pattern has generally been hard to get a hold of in between, but then always shows up for court. Unfortunately, like I said, I have not seen him today.
Right. As you know, Mr. I'm going to issue the bench warrant and bond forfeiture, but I'm doing it based on lack of contact on the other files. But Mr. Goodrich, you understand that if you get Mr. Word in here, we'll arraign him, immediately and make sure. But that's my fear, is that the other files have not been addressed, and therefore we have a problem with contact. So I'm going to issue a bench warrant and bond forfeiture for the defendant, and then we'll go from there. Anything else for the record in 2401-215, Ms. Wilson?
Not for the people. Thank you.
Mr. Goodrich.
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
I don't want to. You tell me what your board is saying, please, or just doesn't complete anything, or-
So what Quaterio Ellis is the statute? I have a 130. It's a free sentence.
Those are the two options I have.
We do have a 1:30.
Oh, no, front jack.
I
Just a-
schedule that?
She's really.
We deferred it to, yeah,
I don't remember this at all.
it's a deferred sentence for 6 months.
Huh. Oh, it's only March.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
It
like,
is.
this is not right.
Yeah, yeah.
90,000.
Oh, I feel
Yeah, we didn't
I figured
set
we
it
could
for,
crowd it at around the jury.
it's a March, April, so March.
I think that's why. I didn't
Oh, yeah,
set it.
that's,
So the email that you sent me about those dates, I was able to clear the docket. So do you want me to send it to this?
I don't know,
Yes.
I had a premium with Milks where I was like, there's no way this victim's showing up. And then
I think there
she showed up and
was,
she testified to everything.
The
and I was like,
15th, 21st of
Okay.
October.
I'm going home for the day.
See ya.
the two were turning.
Do you have anything with you this week?
3 days before
for
that.
the-
And I figured you must have something going on. today.
Something the night before.
Ah,
I don't know.
No,
I was told and I.
no, you are spared.
there wasn't much on the docket. I was
It's
able to
good.
start- well,
I
I'm
worked at
always
home.
got it, but it wasn't.
Figurative and literal blood.
At
Well,
all.
Jeffrey's
There's
still
cases
like
on
punching
Monday,
himself
none
for
on
his
the 8th,
last
none
not guilty, so he's gonna come out swinging. That's not good for you.
Two words, get some time. Miss Wilson, how was your week?
That's pretty good.
It was
How was your
pretty-
conference?
It was very good. It was very good. It's just depressing hearing all that.
Yes,
You know,
hearing doomsday.
Hearing, we had a full, yeah, it's doomsday
Mhm.
about people who know such things. Like
Yes.
we had a whole morning of MIT scientists.
Oh, God.
And just at the end of the morning, you're just like, well, there's,
It's all hopeless.
yeah, it's all.
Pack it all
hopeless.
in, we're good.
I'll eat that donut now, I mean, what's the matter with the
Yeah,
donut?
no.
You
I'm
know?
gonna be gone here in
It's
a
an
minute.
easy
It's
choice
fine.
to make at that time. So
At least it was in a nice area.
it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was just beautiful. And yeah, it was that whole Martha's Vineyard coast area.
Mhm.
It's all academia. It's all
Yeah. Mhm.
Woods Hole is all like University of Chicago and MIT and the Oceanographic Institute is there. It's just all like academic buildings
Mhm.
and who knew? I wasn't familiar with that area, that they had so much academia and science coming out of that tiny little beautiful area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and what they call a ferry is very different than what I'm familiar with a ferry. Their ferries are huge.
Oh, they're
like-
not the little like.
Yeah, I mean,
little
you
ones
get on
that
a
you take
ferry
to
and you
Mackinac.
go like for like 45 minutes and
Yeah.
then you're there. Everybody drives their car onto a ferry. Like,
Oh, wow.
it's like there's like 40 cars on the ferry. That's not a ferry.
No, that's like a boat.
So yeah, it was nice.
That's good.
And I got to see Fenway Park Friday and that
Oh,
was a treat.
nice.
Yeah.
Did you go to the game then?
I didn't. I actually flew back the day of the game. Michigan State was everywhere because they
Oh.
played Boston College Saturday and lost in a great game. I was able to watch the game. But no, I was flying back when everybody was either there or flying there. Michigan State travels well.
Oh, do they?
They do. They travel well. Yes, they do.
Yeah, it sounded like they had a lot of people in the stands.
It was, yeah, and it was a super wet day.
Oh, yeah.
That Friday night when we went to Fenway, it was colder and wetter. But by Saturday hitting, it was rained all day.
Oh,
So
God.
yeah, so I mean to be in that, and that was a sold out. The Boston
Fenway's
College
baseball,
was,
isn't it?
yeah, Fenway's
Yeah.
baseball. It was not but Saturday, that next day would have been kind of miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40,000 miserable people.
Yes.
Watching a great football game that Michigan State should have won.
Yeah.
I'm only
that was
putting
hard-
I'm only putting it out there. Yeah,
That
Yeah.
was hard to believe.
yeah, that was you get the good and they get the bad, and there was some interceptions and some bad.
Oh.
So. I know who else was. Mr. Palmer was going to be in Massachusetts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was just it was lovely.
Not for the same conference, though.
He was going to Fenway Park, but he
Okay.
was not. They were going to watch. They were going to Salem
Oh, okay.
because there was a lot of history there. And there's history all over this.
Always wanted to go to Salem on Halloween.
It's just,
It's on my bucket list.
it had all started, I saw people I would associate with being like there's all these markets and we were going through those. And you see like this group and I'm like, what are the goth kids doing out? But they were getting ready for Halloween
Yeah.
in 2 or 3
Spooky
weeks or
season.
whenever, you know? It was funny. It was, but yeah, it was plenty to do. That's
My
for sure.
intro course to like how to do college, my freshman year of college, was on the Salem witch trials.
Was it
So
really?
it's on my bucket list.
Well, it was definitely on, yeah, there's so much history there. It's beautiful. It's 790. That's People of the State of Michigan versus Douglas Aubrey. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Mr. Shive.
Jacob Shive on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Mr. Lee. Oh, Mr. Raleigh.
Thank you, Your Honor. Jacob Raleigh on behalf of Mr.
And sir, you are Douglas Aubrey, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Shive, how are we proceeding?
Requesting a final pretrial, Your Honor.
And is that a fair statement, Mr. Raleigh?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll set this for final pretrial on
October 7th at 8:30.
October 7th at 8:30. And you, we'll wait for that final pretrial to see if we need a jury trial or not. Is that what, is that the plan?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, we've set it for October 7th at 8:30. Anything else for the record in docket 23-00790? Mr. Shive.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Raleigh.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Aubrey, you should get notice from my court officer. We'll see you on October 7th at 8:30.
Thank
All right? Thank
Yep.
you.
Yep. All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I haven't looked at it yet, and Jake has, so I guess my official offer is set it for a pretrial.
I think we're ready with Rodriguez, Your Honor. Ruben
All right,
Rodriguez.
I'm Ruben Rodriguez. All right, so we're on the record in docket 23-01135, 23-01136, and 23-02413. People of the State of Michigan versus Ruben Rodriguez. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Mr. Shive.
Jacob Shive on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Mr. Raleigh.
Jacob Raleigh, Mr. Rodriguez.
And sir, you are Ruben Rodriguez, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a pretrial in these three matters. Mr. Shive, how are we proceeding?
Requesting a final pretrial, Your Honor.
All right. Is that a fair statement, Mr. Raleigh?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. We'll set it for final pretrial on
October 7th at 8:30.
October 7th at 8:30. On 23-01135. And on 23-01136. And on 23-02413. The final pretrial is set for October 7th at 8:30. Anything else for the record on any one of those three files, Mr. Shive?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Raleigh.
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez, we'll see you on that October 7th at 8:30 date. All right, sir? I only have three before we call in the jury, or they're coming in right now.
If you want to call Villanueva, I don't know.
I asked if we could get the date on Rodriguez.
Sorry, I was checking the hallway.
Maybe the last one.
He's got multiple files, so he's gonna get multiple notices here. Thank you.
And then Megan, you may want to call on Sonia Villanueva.
We do have Mr. Scott here. He was denied by the Dean's office.
Okay.
think that after the trial, we may have to send somebody to the lawyer's last and it's.
Just as long as they know where we're from.
She's not under judge.
All right.
And neither is Kayla Kalka.
She's got, we're about 10 minutes. So. Kayla's got about 5 minutes. That was set for 9:30. We'll give her 15 minutes. But let's go ahead and, are we ready on Villanueva?
I am, I'm not sure who represents her. Villanueva, is that you? Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and call that. And she's not in the hallway because we called for
It
her.
didn't look like it, no.
All right, so we're on the record in docket 24-00559. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Sonia Villanueva. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Mr. Lee.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Sonia Villanueva.
All right, this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. It was set initially at 9 o'clock. It is now 9:39. And we've called Ms. Villanueva's name in the courtroom. I don't see her in the physical courtroom. And then I know Ms. Slaviak called her name in the hallway. It would appear that defendants failed to appear for her pretrial conference. Mr. Lee, have you had any contact with Ms. Villanueva concerning this file?
I have not, Your Honor. I have left voicemail with her. I just called her this morning and left your Zoom ID number, so perhaps she'll jump on here at some point.
All right.
But I have not spoke with her since our last hearing.
All right, thank you. Ms. Wilson, how did you want to proceed with that?
Thank you, Your Honor. Before I get into that, I just want to place on the record, while I was sitting here and I was looking at her name, I realized why I recognized it. She was a victim in a matter before this court a couple months ago, and I recall that at that time, this matter was pending and she had not been arraigned on it. I did call her in compliance with the Crime Victim Rights Act on the case that she's a victim for. I just want to make sure it's clear in the interest of full transparency. No conversation was had about this case. It was strictly about the case that she was a victim on.
All right.
With that being said, Your Honor, I believe Ms. Villanueva does have health issues, if I recall correctly. So I wouldn't be opposed to a reset, considering this is a dog at large.
Right.
And she has been here before, so I have no objection to just a reset at this time.
Mr. Lee.
I'm in agreement with.
All right. I don't know if I remember the case that she was the victim on.
It was a financial case that ended up playing out, so she wasn't super involved.
All right, so let's reset this pretrial since there's indication that there may be some health problems. And we'll reset for October 7th at 9:30. Notice will go to Ms. Villanueva at her last known address with the court, which was confirmed at her arraignment. And we have that Fairfield Avenue address. That's the final address you have.
That's the address.
All right, all right. So we'll reset for pretrial on October 7th at 9:30. Anything else for the record in 24-00559, Ms. Wilson?
Not for the people.
Mr. Lee.
Nothing further.
All right. Thank you, appearance, for that on that file.
Yeah, he's been waiting. He's in the room.
I don't think Mr. Scott's representing.
I don't have anything.
All right. Mr. Scott, are you here? You can come up here. All right, so we're on the record in docket 24-02497. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Earl Scott. Well, appearances for the record, Mr. Scheib.
Jacob Scheib on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
And sir, you are Earl Scott, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Scott, you are not represented by a counsel today, is that correct?
No.
Okay, and were you given the opportunity to make application to the public defender's office at your arraignment?
Yes.
All right, and you denied that?
They denied me.
Oh, they denied you. All right. Do you plan to seek your own representation in this matter?
No, I believe my evidence will prove everything.
Well, then you may want, to talk to the prosecutor in this matter. And I don't know if they've had the opportunity to speak with the victim in this case, Mr. Scruggs. So we can proceed one of two ways, but the easiest ways is since there's an allegation, is probably to reset it for pretrial, to have the opportunity for you to show any evidence you have. You're not represented today. This does have a penalty of 1 year in the Ingham County Jail. So I mean, it's fairly broad consequences if you're not able. So that's my way of saying it's probably a good idea to get a lawyer if you don't have a lawyer.
Could I show the prosecuting attorney my evidence?
You can, but you don't have a duty to them. Okay, you don't have to. But if you have a lawyer, you have to. All right. But if you show them that they don't have to do anything, they can. And one thing they're going to do is probably contact the victim, because there's a victim. This is an MDOP case, so it's a crime victims' rights case. So
I have evidence of her setting me up.
Right
on video.
Right, and that's evidence. But then there's her side. All right, and there's an indication of what her evidence is. And then that's why we have trials.
I can prove her wrong, Your Honor.
That's why you should get a lawyer. If you want to take this to trial, you should get a lawyer.
That's just it. She wants me to spend a bunch of money. She just went through and did this.
Mr. Scuttle, we're not having this discussion. You don't have to get a lawyer, right? The Constitution doesn't require you to get a lawyer. I'm just thinking it's a good idea if you're looking at a year that you should have some interest, okay? You should have somebody looking out for your interest who knows the legal system, all right? They have a duty, the prosecutor's office has a duty to contact the victim to make sure the victim's involved in the case. That's pursuant to statute. It's not a question. They have to do that, all right? So I'm gonna give you the opportunity, but we probably should adjourn this so that you can, if you want to, you can show any evidence you have. If you want to get a lawyer, you can get a lawyer, and they're gonna contact the victim pursuant to statute, all right? All right. Is that a fair statement, Mr. Shive?
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, that's the way I see things. Ms. Wilson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Abigail Wilson for the people. I will also add, if Mr. Scott is wanting to proceed pro per, we do need an appearance in order to get our discovery to him.
Right.
So there is that outstanding issue as well.
All right. It appears that Mr. Scott at this point is going to represent himself. You should probably go to the criminal division, and just so you have something to get any type of police report or any type of discovery.
I have them all already.
All right, but this is the formalized. You haven't got it from the prosecutor's office. Okay, you've got it, but you haven't got it because you're representing yourself. So there'll be an appearance or record of all these things. All right, and that'll be the address that they have to send any type of report, any type of new evidence to. And there might be new evidence based on the evidence you have. I don't know. Okay, but you want that. That's something that protects you. All right, that it makes them send you any new information they have. All right, and that's the process of the system. So we're going to reset for pretrial. I'm going to indicate the attorney that the defendant is not represented by counsel. And I will direct the defendant probably should go to the criminal division,
I
right?
just printed the form.
All right.
This lady, I can't.
Right. So you should be given the form that would require an appearance to sign on so you'll sign that. That way you get any evidence that the prosecutor has, any updated evidence to, just kind of protects you, okay?
And I don't think there's a spot in there for an email, but we do need an email address to get the discovery
Okay.
too. So if you could just write it there.
All right. If not, it'll be sent regular mail, I assume.
There's been a lot of hoops with
Okay.
paper.
Right.
It's easier if there's just an email,
All
but
right.
yes.
So I'm going to indicate the defendant is not represented by counsel at this time. A appearance was given to defendant, and we will reset the pretrial for
October 7th at 10.
October 7th at 10 o'clock. In the meantime, I think we have one more case this morning. Mr. Scheib or Ms. Wilson should be available to take a look at any evidence so that they can go to the victim with any evidence that you indicate is in your possession. Anything else for the record in 2402-497, Mr. Scheib?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Scott, do you have any questions with me?
When will I be able to speak to him? Here in a little bit?
Probably in the next, we have one case, probably, I can't speak for that office, probably in the next 30 minutes. I'd say.
Okay.
All right, thank you. If you take a seat and back, there'll be somebody.
Just his name. And if not, just have him put in the body, see. So I don't know, drop it to right. Yeah, why don't you take? Just really. Yes.
All right, I think we have one Culca Castle.
Yeah, check the hallway.
All right, you're good. Now you can check the hallway.
And I believe that's a dog license.
And they're not represented today.
No,
I show that they requested it, I just don't have an update from them.
they might have not gotten in contact with them for
Pre-trial
like intake stuff.
Well, they had one. Excuse me, one was a point, or one was there at the arraignment.
Oh,
They
there's
should
nobody
have
out there,
taken
Judge.
the intake form then, but I just don't see anything.
All right, so we're on the record in docket 2402-309. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Kayla Culca Castle. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
All right, this is the time set for a pre-trial in the matter. And we don't have an appearance from Ms. Kayla Culca Castle. I've looked at the Zoom courtroom, the physical courtroom, and the hallway, and it appears that Ms. Kayla Culca Castle has failed to appear today. But Ms. Wilson, how are we proceeding today?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is a dog license case. However, the fact that there isn't an attorney to reach out to Ms. Culca Castle to inform her that she was supposed to appear today does give me some pause. So I think a bench warrant with a 48-hour hold is appropriate here. Just because if we reset it, we're looking at this falling through the cracks, and I just don't think that's a good idea.
I agree. So the court will issue a bench warrant and bond forfeiture with a 48-hour hold. Ms. Culca Castle is not represented by counsel, but still has the acknowledgement to appear to today's date. And it looked like she was arraigned on September 3rd. I'm sorry, August 8th. She was arraigned on August 8th. So I'll issue a bench warrant and bond forfeiture for the defendants failed to appear with a 48-hour hold. Anything else for the record in 2402-309, Ms. Wilson?
Not for the people.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you. All right.